Hello everybody, welcome back to Firefield Junction, and once again, we've got another loco review for you today. And as we can see, today's loco, it's a Hornby Class 56, and as we can see, it's in the DCR green livery. It's a fairly plain looking livery, I suppose. It's not the most complicated livery in the world, but it still looks quite nice. I already have the Class 31 by Hornby in this livery as well. And when I saw this particular one, I thought it'd be quite nice, and I thought it'd be a nice addition to the collection. I quite like the look of this livery, so I thought it'd be a really nice loco to get. The exact loco is 56303, as we can see just there. Obviously a Hornby model. It's the Hornby Class 56. If you're familiar with it, it's a very nice model, plenty of detail. It's a very nice loco to have. This one is a fairly modern one. Obviously, you can get older versions of this as well. I have looked at a slightly older version if you're interested in a different livery to this, obviously. But overall, the Class 56 by Hornby, it's not too bad really. This particular one, I'm pretty sure there was only one of these painted into this livery, but I could be wrong. If we have a look on the back of the box, as we can see, there's information here about the Class 56 and about this particular one as well. This paragraph here, I believe, is the one that describes that basically talks about this exact loco. So we might as well have a really quick read through this paragraph here. So 56108 was built at Brell at Crewe and entered traffic on October 20th, 1983. Allocated to Tinsley Depot. So, okay, that's quite interesting. Having passed through British Rail, Brell Freight coal sector and Transrail ownership, 56103 was withdrawn from service in February 2000 at Immingham, and with excessive wheel set wear. Subsequently identified for reinstatement. 56103 passed into Fastline service, because that's interesting. So if you wanted to, you could repaint this into Fastline livery if you wanted to, and livery such as Rail Freight coal sector and such as well. Where were we? 56103 passed into, we've read that bit. It was overhauled by Brush Traction in May 2006, reclassified as Class 56/3. Okay, so yeah, so obviously where they overhauled it and everything, they obviously reclassified it, I suppose, because of how modified and upgraded it was. They just had to reclassify it. Renumbered 56103 on May 18th, 2005. The locomotive was then used alongside 56, 301 and 302 on the Fastline container trains running between Doncaster, Grain, Birch Coppice and Trafford Park. Fastline weren't a very big company, and they didn't last incredibly long, I believe. They only had a few locos. They had a few 56s, a few 66s, and I think they had some other locos as well. It might have been the 58s or something, I could be wrong. But yeah, they weren't very big. They didn't have an awful lot of locos, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't last very long. 56303 passed into Devon and Cornwall Railways ownership and is currently awaiting sale by tender. Okay, so I'm guessing when Hornby released this particular model, because this model is a good few years old now, but whether this particular one is still running, I'm not too sure. It could be. I don't think it's in this particular livery anymore. It might not be. It might be. I'm trying to say, I wouldn't be surprised if it might be owned by DCR Rail Freight now, but I could be wrong. Unless they're the same company, I don't know. I'm not sure if DCR, I'm not sure if this company then became the modern day DCR Rail Freights that we're familiar with. And they obviously have the grey, very grey plain livery, and they have 56s and 60s. So I'm not too sure if that's the case, but I have a feeling this particular one is probably still running. Again, I could be wrong. It could be stored somewhere, but I'm not too sure. But either way, I'm pretty sure this livery is still fairly modern. You can probably use it easily around the mid 2000s and maybe the early 2010s as well. I'm sure the loco would fit in quite nicely. But apart from that, the box, there's nothing else incredibly interesting. At the end of the box, it's got the typical Hatton's pre-owned sticker there. This model is second-hand. This model was purchased second-hand. The model code is R3660. It's DCR Coco Class 56, and it's 56303. Unnamed. There's no this loco was not named. But yeah, apart from that, there's not much else on the box. Obviously, on the back of the box, you can see there you've got the drawings of when Hornby started doing this type of Class 56. It's dated 2007, so that's obviously when they first started doing their premium Class 56s. because they did do, and before they did this more upgraded, more modern version, you could get another version before this. It was still okay. I believe it had headlights, so I didn't believe it had any tail lights. The detail was okay, but I believe it only had like a ring-filled motor, and it was fairly basic. It wasn't the best model in the world. And then they obviously did this version, but they upgraded it, and then throughout the years, it's obviously received more upgrades, such as maybe reconfiguring the lighting, maybe redesigned the circuit board, obviously as well. Small things like that, but for the most part, this model has not changed an awful lot since it was released around 15 years ago. So yeah, it's due for an update, but of course we've got Cadillacs who are redoing the 56. So once they come out, I'll obviously get one of them, and then we can compare it with the Hornby one, see what's the same, maybe see what's not as good, see what's better, stuff like that. But overall, there's not much else interesting on the box, so you might as well open it up and have a look. And then we can see the loco there. Now, one thing to note is, as you can see, the previous owner has weathered this, or at least attempted to. The weathering is, I'll be honest, it's not great. I know it's okay, I mean, in places, but such as the bits on the bogies, really, yeah, it doesn't look that good, to be honest. But it's okay. I suppose everyone has different skills. Everyone's good at some things and not so good at other things. We will have different skills at the end of the day. So at least it's got some weathering on there. Obviously, I probably would prefer if it was pristine. Well, yeah, to choose between weathering like this or pristine, I'd probably choose pristine. But it's okay in places, I suppose. I can deal with it for now until I weather it myself properly. So I'll just take the loco out there. I've got the instructions, we'll have a quick look through them. I'm sure it'll be the usual stuff we're used to seeing this. I have already opened this model up, by the way. I've given it a service and ran it in and everything. Just given it a bit of TLC. It's okay, it's not too bad. Maybe slightly noisy, but no major complaints really with it. So here we got the Class 56 BR Coco diesel electric, DC ready or DC fitted. Hornby did do factory sound versions of these as well. Well, not this particular livery, but they have done factory fitted sound versions of the 56. And you can get Codas rail freight, which I have one of those, and I've done a video on it, so if you want to go and see it. They've done a rail freight coal sector one, which I'll try and get in the future, and they might have done one or two other liveries as well. So if you want a factory fitted sound version of one of these, you can get one. It shouldn't be incredibly hard to get hold of. They do come up every now and then, so if you want to get a factory sound version of these, then you should be okay. You should be able to get one. I do recommend them. They are good. The sound file isn't the best, but it's not too bad. The performance is really good because the decoder is obviously really good as well. But going back to the instructions, just open these up quickly. So yeah, it's the usual stuff. So we've got lubrication. Again, you only need tiny bits of oil. You really don't need much. Separately fitted details. I don't believe this loco actually had the detail pack with it, but that's fine. Body removal is just 4 screws, and the body does just lift off. It's really easy. And then we've got DC ready, so it's an 8-pin socket there, so the usual sort of stuff that we'd expect. 2015 onwards, yeah, I believe on the older versions, because I do have one of the older versions, the socket is in a slightly different place on these, and I believe the circuit board is obviously slightly different as well, being older model. But overall, not too bad. Very helpful in the instructions. I definitely recommend looking through the instructions on your locos, especially if you're not familiar with them. If we just bring the loco back in shot, we can slide this sleeve off nice and gently. And then if we lift this up, we can grab the loco and lift it out. There we are. Then if we put that back down, and we can get rid of the packaging. And here we are. And wow. Obviously, I know I do this in every single review, but the first thing, yeah, the weight. Plenty of weight. Nice heavy model, which is good. Plenty of traction. These models are very strong. So these should perform very well. I'm hauling nice long freight trains on your layout. You shouldn't have any problems at all. And there is a driver inside there, but that's been done by the previous owner. Hornby don't fit drivers as standard to their models, so yeah, that has been done by the previous owner. I'm not sure if there's one in both ends. Nope, we have got one in just one end, so that's good. The bogey detail is not too bad. These sandpipes here are catching a little bit on the bogies. Might just try and bend them down a little bit out of the way. There we go, so that should be better. That's one thing you have to be careful of on these models, such as this, as to not just check that detail, such as those sandpipes, aren't catching, because obviously they could come off. I believe some of them on here already have come off, and obviously the clicking can get quite annoying as well. It definitely annoys me when I hear it. But yeah, overall, you should be fine. We have got sprung buffers on both ends, which is good. You have got directional lights. The grills on the side are proper etched metal pieces, and on the roof. Now you can see that there's the fan grill, well, the fan detail underneath there is missing. That's because there is a speaker there. This model is sound fitted. I was able to get this sound with a sound decoder fitted. Obviously, it doesn't come with a sound decoder fitted as standard from the factory, but the previous owner had fitted a sound decoder to it, and I changed the speaker because the one that was on there was it wasn't great, we'll say. It was a pretty awful speaker, so I've changed it to a nice big megabass one. So when we get the look on the track later, we'll be able to hear the sound and see, you can hear how good it is. And the decoder, it's either a loksound V5 or V4. It's definitely one of the two. The sound file, I believe it's a house sound file. House or hose, I'm not too sure how I pronounce it. I say it's house. I believe that's how you pronounce it, I'm not too sure. But I believe the sound file is by them. It's not Legoman Biffo. So I have heard the Legoman Biffo sound file, and I'm pretty sure it's not that. Whoever has made the sound file on this loco, I'll start that again. Whichever sound file is on the decoder in this loco, whichever one it is good. It's a very good sound file, and again, when you hear it later, I'm sure you'll agree. The doors do open, as you'd expect on a model like this. The antennas are a little bit bent. Just try and bend it back into shape a bit. You have to try and ignore the background noise, if you can hear it, of whatever in the roof. It's decided to return again. Typical. Start doing a review and all of the wildlife starts to make a racket. It's typical, isn't it? But yeah, we're trying to ignore it. Again, on the other end, sprung buffers, again, directional lighting. The cab detail on these is pretty good. You can see inside there, you've got some painted detail in there. You can see all of the controls. You can even see the fire extinguisher there. It's not bad at all. Obviously, it's all-wheel drive and all-wheel pickup. The mechanism inside these is very, very good. You've got a massive motor in the centre, 2 flywheels, which goes into 2 drive shafts and 2 worm gears, and that drives all of the wheels. So a quality mechanism from Hornby as usual. There's a bit of a glue mark there. I might try and get that off at some point. The underframe detail is not too bad. This fuel tank feels a little bit loose, or it might be some of the piping around there. But loads of detail on the underframe, which is nice. And the roof is no different. Again, you've got the grills there again that I've already talked about. The grills down on the side as well, they look really, really good. The weathering on the roof actually is not too bad. I will admit that. The weathering that's been done to the roof, it does look pretty good. It's a few marks and sort of chips out of it, but overall it's not too bad. It looks pretty good. The livery application, God, that's one of the main things I've missed actually. The livery application, it looks really, really good. All of the colours are quite nice and crisp. There's a bit of paint bleed on the end there, I'd say, but it's not too bad. The DCR logo has been applied nicely as well. I believe it is just a transfer probably, or a sticker, but it does look very, very good. You can even feel it slightly as well. That's quite nice. Going to the other side. Again, obviously just as good as you'd expect. You wouldn't expect anything different really. Again, the opening doors, underframe details just as good. Overall, it's a quality loco. Really, really good. So basically, as you'd expect from Hornby, really. If it was released today, you might be lucky to get it in one piece, but overall, it's not too bad. Really, really good loco. But the next thing we need to do, I think, is put her on the track and see how she runs, and also to how good the sound is. So yeah, let's go head up to the layout, put her on the track and see how she runs. Okay, so here we are on the outer loop again as usual. Obviously it is the DCC loop. Well, both loops are DCC, but so the inner one can be both for purposes of running in new DC locos, but the outer loop is DCC only. But there we go, loco's on. Quite easy to do, quite a lot of wheels. But there we go, she's on. And obviously, as I mentioned, she is DCC fitted with sound. Again, not factory sound. It is a proper high quality sound decoder. I just need to remember what address she is actually. Is she this number? Yes, she is. Well remembered, Edward. Well done. But yeah, okay. So if we just put the lights on, there we go. I hope you can just see those. If I just move the loco back a bit, we have got some nice headlights there. I have seen brighter ones, but those aren't too bad. If we just change direction, there we go. The tail lights are on. If I just try to make a bit of shade for you, there you go. Hopefully you can see those there. Again, I have seen brighter ones. It could just be the lights just in general on this loco just aren't as bright. But I have got my other 56s. The lights are brighter than this, but it's no major complaints. They still look good. If we just give her a bit of a wiggle. Not too bad in the other direction. Excellent, really good. Again, this loco is a bit noisy at higher speeds. I do find that it can get a bit noisy when it's running at higher speeds. But overall, no major complaints with the performance. Really good. If we just do some of the sounds, so I believe functions 2 and 3 are horns. Not too bad. Function 4. I believe that's something to do with the brakes. Again, I'm very certain this is a house sound file, because I do have a class 60 that has house sound fitted, and some of the sounds on here are exactly the same as that model. One of them being the brake release that we've just heard, or air release, whatever it is. They are exactly the same, so I'm pretty sure this is a house sound decoder. Again, I'm not sure if it's a V4 or V5. At first guess I'd say it's a V4, but don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's a V4 sound ESU lock sound decoder with the house sound. But if we carry on with the sounds, function 5, that sounds like coupling. Function 6, that sounds like some sort of coupling as well. I'm guessing maybe one of them's coupling and one of them's uncoupling. I could be wrong there, but that's what I guess. Function 7, that sounds like a cab door slam. Function 8, quite a nice guard's whistle there. Function 9, another horn. I'm guessing function 10 might be another horn. No, doesn't do anything at the moment anyway. Function 11. I'd say that might be the air compressor or something like that. I could be wrong. Function 12. That's definitely a Spirex valve. Function 13. Nothing. 14. No. 15. Nope, spamming buttons now, it's not doing anything. Some of the sounds you might only be able to do when the engine's running. So might as well fire up the engine. No, that's not the engine startup sequence. I have had a few technical difficulties with this decoder in the past. Let's try again. There we go. Yeah, when I first tried this loco again, when I actually first got it, I didn't get the startup sequence, but it seems to be working now. Brilliant. So I think let's get her going, run her out and see what she's like. Let's give her even more power, I think. Really want to hear that engine scream. Right, let's go full power. Let's go for it. I do apologise if you can hear the gearing. Again, as I said, this model is a bit of a noisy runner at high speeds. I'm not too sure why, because I have given her a really good service and lubrication. But overall, yeah, absolutely amazing. Performance, it's 11 out of 10, I think. Absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to slow her down again. There we go. We'll do her back to 50% speed. Yeah, overall, she's amazing. An absolutely fantastic model. Again, it would be nicer if she was a bit quieter. Obviously not in terms of the sound, but in terms of just the general noise from the mechanism. I might give her a bit more work, open her up again and give her a good strip down and good clean. But yeah, she's amazing. If you don't have a Hornby Class 56, you need one. You really do. They are fantastic. Absolutely amazing.